Hello everyone, welcome back with me again, Zaran Sadiyanti, or maybe you can call me Z. So, on today's vlog, I would like to bring a title or topic about the characteristic of young learners. So, on the previous weeks, we already learned about which characteristic that mostly young learners have when they're learning English. So, on today's vlog, I would like to review it a bit, maybe perhaps 5 characteristics of young learners. So, without any further ado, let's just check it out. Alright, now move to the first characteristic of young learners is, as you know, this one. Is it seen enough? Yes, energetic and active. So this type of young learners is often have their energy really full, 100%, and yeah, they like to do things and have a lot of energy to spend with. That's why sometimes we as a teacher cannot match our stamina with our students because they are really excited and active, because perhaps because they're still young and it's their first experience and wanted to learn more about some things. So the strategy to use as a teacher for me is we have to provide a fun learning or activity that consists them to make an interactive, so it will make them, oh, this is such a fun learning, and I think it's not kind of boring. That's why we have to at least combine each activity, or perhaps add a little more games, mini puzzle that requires their energy. So the time we spend especially into the game is relevant to the materials that we wanted to deliver. Alright, now move to the second characteristic of young learners is curiosity and imaginative. As we know that young learner is really curious about everything that happen in their surrounding, and if they're already curious about something, then they will seek for the answer, what or why it's happened, using their imagination. That's why as a teacher we have to be strategic to handle this type of young learners. I would say that the strategic tips to handle this curiosity and imaginative types young learners is, the first one is using open-ended question. So open-ended question is like asking a question that has no yes or no, but more like asking opinion about what are the things about what are we talking about. For example, what can we learn, what do you know about animals? And then they will answer it by their own imaginative. With this, we can pique their interest and they will seek for the answer, and it will make the learning more fun because we use an interactive approach. Move to the third one of the characteristic is easily distracted. Yes, young learners have a limitation to keep focus on what are we saying. That's why we as a teacher have to be more strategic about to design our materials learning, the methodology, and also the techniques we use to deliver the materials. I would say that the strategy for us as a teacher, of course, we have to not divine, but more like varied our activity in the classroom. We can say that, for example, the first activity is about Simon Says. It's a kind of brainstorming to keep them focused on what are we saying, and then it can make them interested and they will feel that, oh, this is kind of fun learning. And then on the second activity we use like watching a videos, and then asking them what can we learn from this video. Now from that we can they will not distracted at all because we varied our lesson plan. Alright, now move to the fourth one is cannot stay still. We all know that young learners is the type of kinesthetic. They like to use all of their parts of body to move, especially it cannot prevent them to move even in classroom. Yeah, and somehow we as a teacher find it's really distracting because now we are studying, now we are learning. Why you keeps moving your hands or maybe waving, uh, yeah, something like that, the kind of moving their parts of body. But we cannot prevent that because it's the natural of young learners. Instead, we have to provide, of course, activity that make them move their body. For example, make a circle and then we sing a song, or doing a role play. So it will let them that to make move their body. It will also make them more faster and quicker to know about things that we learn. Now move to the last characteristic of young learners is like to touch things. Young learners is really curious about everything, and sometimes if you talk about, for example, about fruits, apple, they will ask that what is apple, and then what are the shapes, what kind of apples. Nah, for this we have to provide a lot of things in our classroom that to make them learning throughout the real things, so they can touch them. They will, yeah, learn unintentionally about the materials by using a real object. For example, that we talk about a fruits, and then look at this. This is an orange. The color is orange, and the taste is really, sometimes it's sweet and salty. Yeah. Hmm. Ooh, alright, that's all the 5 characteristics of young learners. About the first one is active and energetic, the second one curiosity and imaginative, the third one easily distracted, the fourth cannot stay still because they're really kinesthetic type, and then the last one is like to touch things. So that's all from me about my vlog. See you when I see you, and bye bye.